Welcome back to Crypto Consciousness. This is David here. I want to take you through today what's happening in the market. There is a bit of red in the market. A lot of people are freaking out as they do, especially for the newcomers who expect to make money within a short period of time overnight or in a few weeks. It's cryptos. It's really great. It's volatile. You can't just swing one way, meaning only want profit. You have to allow movement to go down. Sometimes you will have a temporary loss on paper. Until you close that position, it's not a loss and it's not a profit. It's just movement. And so you just need to be patient and calm. Remember, that's the key to a successful investor is first half is choosing the right thing to invest in, the right token, the right currency, and the right technology. So there's fundamentals in that. Then you've got the aspect of it takes time for things to unfold. And so we're in a living, breathing market. It's the free market. That's why prices do change. So there's no crystal ball. Nobody has all the answers for you. What we do have is indicators that we can utilize to make better decisions. Let's check this out. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, this was a little bit worse this morning, around 6%. And right now we've pulled back. Why? Let's have a look at the charts because that can give us an idea what's happening. When we start to hit in TA some pressure, some support points or some resistance points, that's where a lot of movement happens. Now, I'd like to use my TA today, just give people some calm about what's going on. Some people were in hype mode yesterday. It was just climbing. A lot of things, especially the top four tokens I'm always talking about lately, are really climbing. So we need a healthy pullback. If you have a look here at the Bitcoin chart, the other day I pulled out some indications of a symmetrical triangle taking a short trade, and those who took it would be in profit by now. And so that was a $69,000 point up to 70 for the first point of support, which is this orange line here. If we continued further, we were looking at this second line at $66,000 Australian dollars. We haven't done that. What we've done is if we draw our support line across here, we can see that some buying's happened here. You can see that line is holding support at the moment. Don't be shocked if we might come through and pull down a little bit more. But at the moment, the market is speaking loudly and it is holding this support line. So that's a really good thing for everybody who's worried about the price going down. We may find that we start to climb or we go a little bit sideways. If so, that may push this line out a little bit further. So let's put it right there. And so those who feel that we might continue to climb up, take profits, even half of it position, 50% of it, close it. And if you want to continue shorting it, I don't short when the bull market's happening, when the trend is your friend here. So if we're going up, let's call that our trend is up. So that is our friend. So we want to be taking trades based on that direction. Unless that line is broken, that's when I'd be looking at potentially shorting it even further. Obviously within this area here was okay, but when we're hitting a support line, we don't really want to be trying to push through because that's asking for a little bit too much. But we want to be prepared. So best thing to do, if you're in long position here, have a stop loss on Bitcoin. If you're really worried that it might roll over and go further, then you'll have a stop loss. And you can place that in your CoinSpot account by hitting if price, a sell, it's a sell target. So if price drops to, sell this much of your token. So anyway, a good point is what I'm trying to make is there's a support coming through there on Bitcoin. On Ethereum, we have a bit of support here at $2,145. You can see previous points as well. We came to touch there at 2,114. And so potentially we might be bouncing off that support. If we do come through and we break that, because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, you can count that one as 2, as 4 as well, 4, 5 potentially. Usually on the 5th we do roll down, and then we'll maybe find support here at $1,800. If we draw a uptrend of what we broke through early in the year, was it early in the year? Yeah, it's right in January. As soon as we started January, we busted through the $1,000 mark Australian dollars for Ethereum, and we've been climbing ever since. We had a nice correction here and then continued up. What concerns me is that double top there. We've got on a technical level that usually works out to be, according to WD Gann, one of the greatest traders of all time in the 1900s. That could be a 200% move, meaning we'll bring it from there to here. So we would be sort of looking at an alarming $1,400, $1,300. I doubt it would hit the 1,000, but there is a significant point there to come back and retest that. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying be prepared that these are the options, one of the many options that could occur here in Ethereum. But essentially, we're pretty strong. The support line is there. So Ethereum's potentially got roll-ups coming, which will help efficiency and gas pricing, and that if that comes in soon enough, which was saying by the end of March, so we still have a week to go. If that comes in, we might find there's some excitement here. I made a video about that coming through, and when that does temporarily help us in improving the Ethereum speeds and costs, that'll bring a lot more encouragement to Ethereum. We're all waiting for it. We know it's worth a lot of money, Ethereum. It holds a lot of DeFi, billions of dollars of DeFi money. It's great technology, and we really want to be seeing some sort of new improvements on Ethereum, because right now it's sort of lagging a bit. And so maybe if we don't see a good response from that, we might continue to roll over, which is not the worst thing, because we do have, like I said, still an uptrend. It's not breaking that uptrend yet. That's Ethereum. Theta have been a beast this last couple of weeks. What have we been seeing? So start of March was $4, and we've seen just up until the last 3 weeks, we topped out at $20. So it's a 5x, and we've pulled back to $14.50 to $15. And from that, we're looking at a support line at the $14.50. So you can see some buying. Yeah, thank you. You can see some buying coming through and supporting that area. Anyone wanting to get in the market, I mean, I'd be looking at this as a buying price, which I did do, and also for Theta Fuel. You can see though, you missed the boat a little bit on the 80 cents move from here to here. Again, we are looking at this being a really healthy pullback, because that was just too parabolic. If you look at it on a day chart, that's a huge spike. It's not natural. Things don't continue to go up all the time. So it's really healthy to pull back, maybe even to $12, and then continue your climb. There is news coming through over the next few months for Theta launching 3.0. We've had notice today Theta is announced to be launching 3.0 on the 30th of June. So this may continue to climb. It may pull back a little bit more and then continue, but there will be a lot of excitement around 3.0 coming forward. That'll improve for staking options and earning Theta itself on the staking. Right now, you can stake Theta, but you'll earn T-Fuel. So let's move over to T-Fuel. We can see here on the charts that a previous top is now providing a little bit of support, but the candle still is red. That's on a daily chart, so we may still see that turn around. But I'm still happy with what I see there, so I've put I recommend considering that that's possibly what we're going to be, will be our lowest point today. Hopefully it is. If it's not, and we come back to retest the 42 cents, those who have been bought in here and got my early shot calls, we're way in profit. So you could put yourself a little stop loss around just under there if you want at 40 cents, if you're really worried to lose some of that profit. So you could preserve that increase that you made. So if you got in at 10 cents or 20 cents and you really don't want to lose all of it and you want to end in profit, put a stop loss. You could at 30 cents, you could at 38 cents if it continues down. Again, take a step back, have a look. It's quite parabolic, so it would even still be healthy if it did come back to 30 cents, and then we can continue our path, because the more parabolic it is, the harder it crashes. So the more sort of balanced out it is, the more gradual it can climb over time. And you can look at gold as an example from the 70s. It's had this beautiful climb along the way. So yeah, we really want to be looking at things and taking a good perspective of not to panic and sell like everybody tends to freak out, particularly the newcomers, because they haven't sat through a bear market. If you have a look at Bitcoin, and we'll go into the 1 week chart, have a look what's happened with Bitcoin. We were we've skyrocketed, so from the 10,000 mark last year, in Aussie dollars this is, we traveled sideways for a little bit, and then eventually we busted out into the $17,000 mark, and then we've been, we've nearly, that's nearly $80,000 we've hit. So anyone investing, that's 450% roughly increase on your investment. So a pullback is not uncommon, and on a weekly chart, our 20 week moving average is around $52,000. So, and that will continue to climb every day and every week. So that there would be a really healthy support point. But you can see we haven't touched it. So the weekly is not, we're staying right away from the weekly, which is a good thing. And if we pull back on the daily, the one that we're looking for support here is the 50-day moving average. If you can have a look at that, That's the green line just there. So we sort of came close here, then we touched it twice here, double bottom, and took off. And we sort of came close here, and we're still significantly away from about it by $5,000. So that would be the area I'd be looking at as the worst case scenario. So I'd put a stop loss there if you've bought Bitcoin along the way here and you don't want to lose all your profits. But what can happen is it'll touch that point, everybody will start buying at that point, and stop losses will be triggered, and potentially it may start to climb again. There is high hopes for this. In Australian dollars, we'd be looking at roughly $130,000 to $140,000 on a continual rise, which would be healthy over the next coming months, 2-3 months. My projection is we'll be topping out if we do reach that point at around June, July, and then maybe a bit of a more serious correction back to 100,000 and sideways for a bit and continue on. But again, they're just my opinions. They're not financial advice. Let's move on back to Dent Coin, which was another big call I made this last few weeks, 2 weeks ago, and I called it. I called it at 3 cents. Where are we? No, so again, 0.003 of a cent, and then I called it again. I made a video here at around the 0.09 to buy in here, and then off we go. We went to the races there. Continue off a nice healthy pullback over the last few hours, where we topped off at 2 cents yesterday. So that is about a 5x, 6x to current prices now. But if you got out at 2 cents, no worries. I'm sure people were taking profits. You can see it here. The price action tells you that. So, it doesn't continue to go. It doesn't go up forever. So people are realizing that, and they're taking some of their profits, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You should preserve your return. Now you can see we've bounced off some support here, and we're continuing a little bit pushing up now. So will this continue on now and continue up its major climb? If we go on a daily chart, we can have a look here and see, again, it is quite parabolic. So, but this does happen in cryptos. This is what's great about it. If you do catch some of these moves, it can just continue on. If we use the correct chart here, which if we go back on a weekly and we're using the correct chart, you can see in the previous bull run in 2017 to 18, it doesn't completely show the full top, but it actually reached a high of 10 cents US dollars. Here's probably the end of, we missed a little bit on the data, but you can see this project when it was in its infancy and it didn't have 25 million users like it does today and growing. Now it's exponential. Now it can actually justify those prices. So for me, my target, you can see we've touched the previous top, which is expected at 2 cents, and then it consolidates for a few days, a week or two. Oh, sorry, this is weekly chart. So we could consolidate for a month and then continue its uptrend to 10 cents here, and then the moon from there. Obviously, again, you can see the most volume it's ever had is at this point here. So yeah, it's a great project. I will be releasing another video on the update because they have got a portal now that people can make their own businesses reselling data through the Dent project, which it's got a real world case solving a problem. So it's definitely a good project to keep an eye on and keep watching it. Even if you put a bit of money behind it, why not be exposed to this new industry that they've really created for themselves, which is reselling data rather than going through the telcos. These guys will create an exchange that people can auction things on. So it's really, really a smart use case. So I'm still happy to hold that, definitely. And Engine in the NFTs, another good example of the chart pulling back to a support point. Anyone who's not in Engine, this might be a good point to buy. Something to consider is a support point. I'd be looking at $2.70 Australian dollars to be a support. If it pulls back any further, then you might consider putting a stop loss. But again, you look, it's quite a parabolic chart for the last, let's say, 3 weeks. So coming back down to $2 Australian dollars, $1.52. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would still be healthy, and then it can continue on. There's a lot of times charts that just go crazy up have to pull back. It does happen though. In the past, Ethereum, when in 2016, if you go back to, yeah, that's good enough one, daily, it just went parabolic. Let's put it on auto so we can see. Look what happened here. It went up, back down, and then boom, it just took off. Let's shrink that up a bit, and then it took off. We've got to adjust our charts so we can, look at this ride. If you were in this ride back in 2016, It went up to $70, pulled back to 50, and then it just kept climbing. And God, we can't even fit that on a chart. Went to 140, kept going, 300, 400, and then it pulled back massively. We saw a 80% pullback, and then it continued to climb. It continued to climb, but then we consolidated. This is an important stage. But again, overall, there's slightly up ascending, and then it took a breakout, and then if we have a look, it just took off again and went up and up and up and up. So, if you look at history, look left, the charts show you what is possible in crypto and in any charts that indicate any sort of price action. And then we went sideways for a long time, had our bear market, consolidated, and then finally busted out, which is where we're at today. Hopefully that brings you a bit of optimism. Don't panic, it's organic, it's really part of the markets, and if you've got some spare cash, might be the time to use it to buy. That's what I do. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you might want to reinforce your positions for those who bought up a little bit higher on some of these charts. So anyway, happy investing, and we'll see you all in the next video.